Baltimore is very unsafe. And NASA comes at UMBC, but you cannot work at NASA because you are an international student. Most of the companies, they do reject me. UMBC does not offer that much management courses. I don't have good score in IELTS. Maybe that could be a reason like universities could reject me. UMBC offers you free study resources. Private universities offer scholarships more compared to public universities. It's not very hard to get TAs, GAs or RAs here. Go every day and go to each door and knock and ask, okay, I need a TA, or you just need to mail every faculty. UMBC is a public and state university. They offer a lot of food that is free for students.
Hi guys, welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. This is Varun, and today we have Neil Advani with us. Neil is pursuing his Masters in Information Systems at University of Maryland Baltimore County. Hey Neil.
Hello. Hi. I'm glad to join you guys, and I would love to share my experience. So
anyway. So Neil, can you like introduce yourself and talk a bit about your background, undergrad and etc., and let the viewers know about like what you're doing currently.
So first of all, I'll start with my background. So I did my bachelor's in information technology from India, Ahmedabad. I did my bachelor's from this institute called LJ, and I did my bachelor's. Afterwards, I was planning to do masters. So my planning for masters was since when I was like around in my second year of college, and I started with obviously preparing with GRE, TOEFL and everything. So I would say around 2019, I started preparing for my GRE and TOEFL. But as you know, the COVID happened and everything got late. So I came in US in fall 22. I was planning before I was planning to come in 2021, but then I got delayed because of COVID and stuff. So I was preparing for TOEFL and GRE, which I'll come later, that like what were my scores and how did I prepare about it. But just to give a gist about so I pursued my master's in information systems, as you mentioned, from like currently I'm pursuing my master's, so it's from like University of Maryland Baltimore County, and it's been almost a year. I'm just in my second semester, and I'll be completing in like 1.5 months my second semester. So it's been great. The university is pretty good. The environment is pretty chill, and the university is public, so there are a lot of things that most of the people don't understand when they go to private universities. That what the background of what the environment, the culture is there in the state university. So it's pretty good. Like I would prefer state university.
So public over private. I think most of them do that because the public has like way more facilities in one or the other way than private. I feel private is more about money and monetizing. That's it, I guess.
That is one thing.
So which all universities did you apply for, and how many admits did you get?
Sure. So I applied to about 8 to 10 universities. I think that's the average most of the people apply. I mean, people who are like pretty confident, they apply for 5 to 6 universities, but I was not that confident because I was not a gold medalist, but like still I knew I could do pretty well in my
better to be safe than sorry,
just to be on the safer side. So I applied to 8 to 10 universities, which included universities like Northeastern, University of Maryland College Park, then University of Texas at Dallas. Then I applied to University of San Francisco. I applied to obviously UMBC, which I'm currently pursuing, like my master's. Then I applied to which few universities? I applied to University of Texas at Arlington and few more, like 1 or 2 other universities. So I got admits from Northeastern, University of Texas at Arlington, and from Dallas. And apart from that, every other universities I got rejections. But I pursued UMBC because I thought the coursework is good here, and before that I was actually thinking to go to Texas at Arlington because they had a good amalgamation of technological courses and management courses. So I thought, information systems would be a great mixture of that. But then this happened. UMBC happened because of many reasons. UMBC had a great rank over Texas at Arlington, and also I like the location of UMBC. Although I am not exactly like, so just to give you a brief, where I'm staying, it's in the outskirts of Baltimore. It's not exactly in the central part of like Baltimore,
Okay.
but still the location where I'm right now currently, it's very close to New York, it's close to Washington DC, it's close to
Okay.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So yeah, the location as such is not great, but the conject like the adjacent the
The
country,
connections
yeah,
are good, I guess.
the connections are good, the adjacent cities are good, and it's great. Like you get a good location to get to find jobs. Like DC is pretty good, so that
Yeah.
was one of my reasons
Yeah,
too.
I think you had really valid reasons because when you come to US, even location plays a very key role when you apply
Yeah.
for the colleges and take an admit from them. But yeah, that's a good enough reasoning
Yes.
for why you chose UMBC over the other universities that you mentioned because it's far. I think one is in the far east, one is in the middle, and one is in the far
Yes.
south.
Northeastern was a good option for me, but I didn't wanted to pursue Northeastern because like obviously the fees was almost similar. Like I had to pay 38 lakhs here and 38 lakhs in around 40 lakhs in Northeastern. But I got some reviews like Northeastern is like the coursework is very tough and it's very technical. I wanted to pursue something related to
Something
data, so
management.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a mixture of technical and management. Although UMBC does not offer that much management courses in my like in my masters, but still, like I thought this would be a good option. And
I think it's more data driven.
yeah, it's more data driven. Exactly, the specializations
Yeah.
have data science and emails, which I
Oh,
was more
that's
interested.
nice. Right now, that's the trend going on, hopefully. So you mentioned that you've given your GRE and TOEFL,
Yes.
right? And did you give IELTS as well?
Yeah, so I gave IELTS as well, but I got a low score in that, so I had to give TOEFL.
So yeah, let's talk about the scores. Can you talk a little
Yeah.
bit on your three exam scores?
Yeah, sure. So, just to give you like the hierarchy of my exams, like first I applied for IELTS and I got 6.5 in that, which was very surprising for me because I was pretty confident that I could score like more than 7 at least. So, but at that
IELTS
time,
always
like,
surprises. IELTS
yeah,
always
yeah.
surprises people.
Although I was good at speaking, like I got 7.5 in speaking, but I don't know
Yeah.
where I messed up, maybe in reading or writing, I don't know. But yeah, so that was very surprising for me because I didn't prepare from any institutes, or I did not hired any personal coaching or
Mm.
anything. I did on my own in just 1.5 weeks. So I thought that was where I maybe lacked or somewhere. Then I went to pursue GRE. Uh, b- in around 2 to 3 months, I prepared for GRE and I got 307. So
Okay, that's good
yeah,
score.
yeah, that was pretty good score at that time. I was expecting 315 or 316, like greater than 310, more than 310, because that's the trend. Like you have to score more than
Yeah.
310 plus. But okay, 307 was good because I got good admits as well. And then after that, I thought, okay, let's just go with TOEFL because I don't have good score in IELTS. Maybe that could be a reason like universities could reject me. So I went for TOEFL. I prepared for 2 to 3 weeks and I got 93 out of 120, which was a
Hmm.
better score than IELTS, like better score
Yeah.
than 6.5. And TOEFL was much easier than IELTS. So if anyone of like students like future in future they are planning to give IELTS or TOEFL, I would prefer TOEFL because TOEFL is also pretty much given preference here in USA specifically,
Yeah.
and it's much easier. Like the reading part and the writing part, it's much easier compared to IELTS. The speaking is tough,
Yeah.
but I think students can manage that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
So that was actually a good journey. You actually had a
yeah.
long journey, preparing and
Yes.
giving those exams. But well, at the end, you landed in the college you wanted. So how did
Yes.
you manage your SOP and LORs? Like,
Right.
maybe like a brief on your SOP, like what sections you covered, and then like, can you talk a little bit on LORs? Like, were they professional or academic, and how many of them?
So to be very frank, I had very less experience of job experience of the
Mhm.
market, and I didn't work for a while. Like I graduated in 21, and I was preparing for IELTS, GRE, and TOEFL as I mentioned until up to December and Jan 22. After that, I started working as an intern in few of the small companies, but so I never had any reference from any big companies or any big firms. So the obvious option that I had was to ask my faculties of uh,
Yeah.
or ask my HOD or something. So yeah, uh, I got one letter of recommendation from my director because I did my last year project under him. So he knew me,
Okay.
and I was very active in extracurricular activities, and I was also a musician at that time. So he knew me
Oh.
that okay, this guy is very much active in university, like in the
Yeah.
events that was happening in my tenure. So
Got
yeah,
it.
I got his letter of recommendation, and then the second that I took was from my HOD, IT department.
Okay.
And just to be on the safer side, I got one more from this guy whose under I wrote one review paper. He actually
Okay.
guided me to write a review paper and how to go and publish it. So
Yeah.
he was also faculty in PDPU, which is a very
Okay.
famous university in Gandhinagar.
Okay.
And he guided me, and I took his reference that okay, I wrote a paper under you, so you can
Yeah.
point out some of the things that you think about me is
Hmm.
that is good for the university for selection. Some skills that you could add. So yeah, and then regarding the SOP, I took help of this institution called Renaissance, which is very famous in all over the Gujarat, and in Ahmedabad as well. So I hired that institution, and they helped me with the SOP. Although you know uh, you have to work on your own, so you have to keep editing it, because even though the institution can help you, they don't know your experience, they don't know about
Yeah.
you. So they will just help you like in editing the English or the format, or
Yeah.
just yeah. So
Just to
how
beautify
to
it, I guess. Just to
yeah,
structure it and beautify it. The content is yours always.
exactly. So the content is mine. So I worked on it for almost, I think I worked on SOP for a lot of weeks. Like I worked for almost 3 to 4 weeks on SOP. I used to
Well, I
research,
think it
and
is worth that. I think it
yeah,
deserves that. I mean, like when you're planning, and I believe in most universities, SOP has a very high valuation, like
absolutely.
in terms of weightage, when they give you an admit. So
And
basically, SOP is something that shows you in return, like shows your personality. So yeah, I
yes,
think
yes,
it's
yes.
justified, I guess.
And I had to work more on my SOP because I had like very less experience, as I said. So I had to highlight those things that were my advantage in comparison
Yeah,
to like experience. If people are showing 3 to 4, 5 years of experience, then I need to show something that is comparable to them.
equivalent to
So
that. Yeah,
equivalent to them. So that's why I thought, okay, like let's just focus more on my SOP because I don't have that much experience. So
yeah.
so
Well,
that was
that's
also the case. So
that's
students can
nice.
focus on that as well. If they are thinking that they have less experience, they don't need to just get scared, or they don't need to panic because they don't have uh, like ton of years of experience. They just need to highlight their skills, their what are their things that they could like show to the university that they can select. Like I portrayed my extracurricular activities, that I was active in the university. I was a musician. I was also, instrumental in editing magazines in my university. So yeah, you can show those things as well. University doesn't expect you to just show experience. So
Got
yeah,
it.
students can.
So, how's the course structure? How's your course structure? Information systems at UMBC.
Okay, so talking about my master's in information systems, it's a good combination of data science and system design, I would say, because I have some of the courses that include systems. uh, you need knowledge of system requirements and system design, but it's more flexible when you need to select on your own. That okay, like for example, I have electives in data science and I have also electives in user experience. So if I, for example, choose to go in data science and I can also select some of the courses from computer science that offers data science and AI. It's not
Okay.
it's not okay, like fixed
It's not
that I have to
particular
take.
to one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it's
one
not fixed that
department.
I have to take, yeah, to one department. And apart from that, university offers a lot of research programs as well to the students. So the core courses are good. Like, so I had this, like, just to share one of my experience, I had this confusion that okay, I have to go to Texas at Arlington or University of Maryland Baltimore County, because the coursework that I liked was at of Texas at Arlington. But still I pursued UMBC over Texas Arlington because I thought, okay, at the end I can choose my electives at UMBC even though they are not offering me the core courses. So the core courses were better at Texas Arlington, but still I thought that I have a flexibility here, and they're offering me a good electives of data science and AI, which obviously I had the interest for my future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, like, this is a better university. And just to give you a fact, people who are thinking to come to UMBC, specifically Department of Information Systems, is one of the best departments of, like, graduate departments in the whole US. So the research of ML and AI that is happening in UMBC is in top 10 right now nationally, like, compared to all
Okay.
other universities, which includes Princeton, Yale, and other universities. Just
That's
that
an
department.
interesting fact, actually.
Yeah, so most of the students don't know that. So if they're planning to do research in that department, they can pursue masters in information systems, and they can work with those faculties who are doing
Okay.
that high level of
Yeah.
research.
So,
So
how many credits is the course?
so I have 30 credits in my course,
Okay. For
and
the 2 years. So,
out of which
okay.
I have 4 subjects which are core. So each subject includes 3 credits. So
Yeah.
12 credits are compulsory, and
And the
apart
six
from that,
courses are different. Your
yeah,
electives, I guess.
exactly.
Okay. And what is the fee structure?
So fee structures depends on you basically. Like, it's like the average fee structure that graduate students pay here is, in, if I have to mention in Indian rupees, it's 37 to 38 lakhs. But per semester fees breakdown is around $12,000 approximately.
Okay. Okay.
But again, that includes a lot. Like, that includes the transportation facilities, that includes the recreational activity center, like
Yeah.
funds, like if you want to do gym, everything is included in
Mm.
that. So if you don't want
Okay.
that, there are some of the options where you can exclude and you can pay just
Okay.
uh, for
So
your
it is an
graduation.
optional thing, so you can remove it actually.
Yeah, not all the things, like not the transportation and the recreational, but like for example, UMBC offers you free study resources, like it's included in your fees, so you can remove that. So I did this in my first semester. I removed around $150 to $200 just for my study resources because I got that online. So
Okay.
students can, like, these days students go online
You
and they
can
can
get it
find
online,
those
yeah.
books. So we don't need those resources by the university, and we don't need to pay for that. So
Got
students
it.
can remove those fees as well, which is
Yeah.
like just extra for.
And did you guys did you have any scholarship, or like does the university offer any scholarships?
Uh, so um, just to, like, give you this fact about universities in US, if people don't know this, private universities offer scholarships more compared to public universities, because public universities generally do offer things that private universities do not offer. And you know that public universities have a very less charges of fees to students compared to private universities. You have to pay 60 or 50 lakhs to just enroll in a
Okay.
graduate program in a private university. And for
Yeah.
for a public university, it's almost 30 lakhs, or 23 25 lakhs. In California it's very less, it's 23 25 lakhs. So yeah,
Yeah.
they do offer scholarships, but it's very less compared to private universities. Private universities
Okay.
have programs for scholarships more in general. And there is this, I got $1,000 scholarship from UMBC, but that was a tie-up from the institution that I booked, like I mentioned, Renaissance. They had a tie-up with the university, so I got $1,000 scholarship because of that, because they had a tie-up with
Okay.
the, yeah. So that was not exactly a scholarship on my skill set, but that was a partnership with my institution that I got enrolled in from India.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, students can get that scholarships as well, but that scholarship, like those scholarships are very less. Like $1,000 is nothing compared to when you're paying hefty amount of.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually,
But
that's
but
true.
still,
Uh,
if students are
but
interested in
what about the teaching assistantship and research assistantships at
right.
your university? Are they easy to get, and like how is it in terms of international students getting hired for those?
Right. So, in fall 22, when I came here at UMBC, UMBC actually took a lot of students this year, and this was their highest intake of students. Just
Okay.
to mention, because after COVID, they just took like in bulk, like they just took students in bulk.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, it's not very hard to get TAs, GAs, or RAs here. It's also not very easy, but yeah, if you are committed to your work, and if you're committed to go every day and go to each door and knock and ask, okay, I need a TA, or you just need to mail every faculty, like you have that like commitment to do work every day, then you can get it very easily. I would say,
Okay.
because I've seen people here getting it not based on your skill sets, but based on their commitment towards their work, or
Commitment.
the
Yeah.
yeah,
The
the discipline that
connections,
they
I
have. That
guess.
yes, the network as well, the discipline they have to you know go and every day ask a professor, or to connect with a professor, and to every day they just mail one professor, and they just you know ask them, okay, you have TAs, RS, or GS. So that is one thing that I got to learn here in US, that you need to have this commitment to get
Yeah.
whatever you want. So it's easy, but yeah, if you get a TA, you do get scholarships. Like your fees is so your fees is actually excluded. Like the fees that you're paying, 50% of your fees is deducted, and you get like I think you also get stipend as well. Like for 20 hours, you work for 20 hours.
Yeah.
So you get that as well. It depends, like if you are RA or if you're TA, it depends. But yeah,
Yeah.
even if you're a grader, a lot of your fees is deducted from
Yeah.
the original
That's
fees that you
nice.
have.
Okay. So,
So
are
yeah,
you doing any part time right now, like any TA or RA or grader? Like, what are you doing right
yeah. So right now I'm not currently doing TRA or anything, but I'll be doing my internship in like few months. I just got acceptance from one of the companies of USA, and I did this thing where I was not very active in the first semester of my graduation. Like I thought, okay, like I'll look afterwards, and maybe I'm just not ready right now. I just need to settle, because I'm
now?
new to here. But I missed one point, that there were many students that came this year. So this year it's very difficult to actually get on campus as such in general. But yeah, like as I mentioned, it's not hard to get. You just need that commitment. And
So, were you
I was
working
very
before?
no, though, like I was not working. Like still I'm actually actively in search of part time in the university, but in US it's not
But you got an internship. That's a good thing.
yeah, but I got an internship, so that's a big jump, because most of the students are not getting
Getting an
internship this
internship.
year.
Yeah.
You
Where,
know the
where, where did
market.
you get an internship?
Yeah, so there's this company called Chris in USA. The company is actually instrumental in securing the data for patients regarding like they have this platform provide uh, where they provide this thing that, for example, if a patient comes to medical centers and if a patient is enrolled, so the platform helps to collect their data, and it directly notifies the doctors, like according to the problem that the
Okay.
patient is facing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on the
So for
symptoms and all, they're
example,
gonna suggest a right doctor, I
yes,
guess. Oh,
exactly.
that's
So if
interesting.
if if your BP is high, the platform will directly notify the doctor, like, okay, it's his BP is high, or his pulses are not good, so we need a doctor who is expert in heart
Yeah.
surgery, or we need a doctor who is expert in specific any of the fields. So
That's
the
interesting.
platform works like that. So yeah, so I'll be
Yeah.
joining there.
Well,
And
congratulations on that
yeah, thank you.
internship.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So,
But
let's talk a little bit on like what are the future prospects of this course?
right.
Like once you graduate, like does the university help you in getting a job or connecting to any companies, and or how does that work?
So university does help international students in like finding internships or jobs or whatever you need to like do. But I would also say that because the university is public university, most of the companies that come here or are partnered with UMBC are federal companies or government companies,
Okay.
or they are federal agencies or something like that. So even if I have to say NASA comes at UMBC, but you cannot work at NASA because you are an international student. You first need to
Yeah.
get a US citizen
Clearance. Yeah.
clearance. So that is also the case, like, because students just go mad, okay, NASA is coming, and all these
Yeah.
big government agencies and defense companies are coming, but you just can't go there because it's written US citizenship is required. So yeah, so the ratio is very less, like 20% of universities hire international students and 80% are just government federal companies, or they just need US citizenship for their, it's like just mandatory for them. So the ratio is very less and the students are like in bulk. So
Okay.
it's very hard to get any company from university, but university does help the students by managing these events and by handling career fairs. They also actually encourage us to go to some of the cities that are having big career fairs by providing us free
Oh,
transportation. So
that's
I
something new. That's interesting.
yeah, so in DC, I think in January or in February, I don't remember exactly, there was this huge career fair going on where almost 100 to 150 companies were there. And university actually encouraged students to go to this career fair. And they told us that, okay, you just need to sign up and we'll provide you free transportation services.
That's nice. That's nice.
That was something that I was impressed that, okay, the universities is actually encouraging students to go there, because
know,
most
right?
of the students were not able to go there because of the commute issues. And
Yeah. So, what is
that
the probability of finding a full-time job? Like, what probability? Any number?
like on campus or like outside, like full-time job?
Outside, like the
Outside.
full-time job.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention that I faced in Baltimore is that so Baltimore is not like, as we know, like, okay, this is not a Silicon Valley, like it's not California, it's not Texas, that most of the companies here are tech companies. So when I apply, most of the companies they do reject me on my location as well. So that is one thing that I feel sometimes is a disadvantage staying in Baltimore. But Baltimore is also in the top 10 cities for full-time hiring jobs in the role of tech, like in technological roles.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so yeah, that is one thing. But for example, if you want to see a good ratio, you need to obviously see the cities that have good companies of like good IT software companies, or the firms that the city
Yeah.
actually has, like for example Texas or California. Baltimore does not support that much. But if I have to give you a ratio, like the full-time job opportunities that people are getting this year, it's good. It's almost 30%, 20 to 30%, because internship is very less, but full-time job opportunities people do get. But there are students that need to
So you
hire
mean
agency.
30% that they get, 70% they might not get.
30% it's easy to get from Baltimore, like the companies
Okay.
that are
No,
in
I just need to.
yeah,
I would like to know, like, overall, once you graduate, what is the probability of
right.
getting that full-time job?
I mean, Indians are very good at this. They do find full-time jobs like out of anywhere. So it's a good probability. But I don't know what's the percentage of that. But I could say that, okay, most of the students do get
What do
like
you think?
job. Okay. I think it's 60-70% students, because most of the other students
God.
need to hire agencies for for their obviously full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
in my
So,
department, only few of the seniors did hire agencies to get full-time jobs. But
yeah.
it's because of the market as well. Right now the
Yeah.
market is very, that's also.
Not so great, I think. So it's
Yeah,
actually impacting everyone, I guess.
it's impacting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So what are the average salaries that a student can expect once they graduate from your course and get a job?
Right. So my course is basically I would say one of the most desired courses right now currently in USA. First is obviously software engineer, computer science, and everything, but it does come in top 5. Information systems is very, very famous here, like as a master course. So
Yeah.
it's very famous, and the the most most specialization is that is taken by students is data science only. So the average data scientist or data analyst that is offered here is around 70 to 80,000 dollars
Okay.
annually per annum.
That's like
Yeah,
good money actually. Given this current
it is. It
situation,
is
I
good.
think it is really good money.
It is good. Even my
Yeah.
company is paying 70 to 80,000 right now to full time.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Interesting. So do you think
So
they convert
it
your
is
job to
good.
full time?
They do, but it depends on the company. And I would do give a preference to small companies over that, because like if you are working for a brand like Amazon or Microsoft, those companies are not ready to always hire you as a full time job employee, because they
Yeah.
have so many students. Like they
Yeah.
have so many employees, and it is very hard to make your space in those big brands and in those
Yeah.
big tech companies. And
Agreed.
like the layoffs that these companies are doing these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like my company was very welcoming for that. They told me, okay, even if you want to work for full time, we'll offer you that if you are doing a good job and uh
Yeah. That's interesting.
not
That's really nice.
obviously not a bad performer. So yeah, so
So
it yeah, it is like a good balance of like you do get full time, and I would say like students need to focus more on internships, because if they get a good internship, mostly it can be converted to full time. Yeah, that
that's true.
is one of the things.
So let's talk a little
So
bit about you. Like, what was your first impression or like the first experience when you reached US and your university? How was it?
it was both. It was good and it was also scary for me at that time, because I had never been to any of the places where I've stayed alone. So and also this place where I'm living, it's in outskirts.
Yeah,
So if you come to
it's more
UMBC, you
deserted, I
need
feel.
to yeah, you need to be prepared of the of the like if you're coming from a big city, you need to prepare this the silence that the city has. Like it's so silent at nights, and it's so silent even in normal like active hours.
It's like scary
I still
silent,
remember
huh?
when I It's scary silent. I still remember when I came here on the first day. It was around 11 in the morning, and I went out for a walk, and I was like, there are no cars, there are no people here. What is this city like? Am I on like some island or what? I don't know. But yeah, it's
Is it
because
safe
it's
or
like
not?
UMBC. It's
Is it safe or not?
it is because see, as such, I know this question will arise because people who are actually thinking of UMBC Baltimore is in news all the time for crime. I know, but it's because of that one area that is West Baltimore, not because of the other areas. So UMBC is not in the West Baltimore. I just need to clarify this because I've got this question a lot of times, and I know if people are planning for UMBC, most of the like people or like most of the institutions will say, okay, Baltimore is not safe, but it is very safe. Like the area where I am living, the neighborhood that I am living, it's very safe because it's closer to university. And specifically the areas that are closer to the universities are very safe because university provides you a good environment
And good protection,
around the
actually.
yeah. And it's very protected, is good. Yeah, I mean, you cannot say like anything can happen anytime, even if it's a protected area. But I would say comparatively, it's not scary, and
Hmm.
it's pretty safe compared to the general you know this thing that people have. Okay, Baltimore is very unsafe, and Baltimore has this
Yeah.
crime.
That's some
Yeah,
actually
it's a crime city.
good
And
information. It was much needed, I feel.
yes,
Well, yeah. So,
I know. I
how
had
is
I
the
had the same.
community? Yeah. So, how is the community, the university, and the community, like the student diversity and all, like, and the student activities or something? How how is it?
That's a great question actually, because when I came here at UMBC, I actually researched about that UMBC is very diverse compared to other universities. Because first of all, excuse me, because first of all, its main focus is towards actually giving diversity to students. I still remember that first day when the president gave a speech, she told that University of Maryland Baltimore County is one of the universities that have great diversity programs, and they have these events where they also connect different communities to have a good conversation, to get to know each other and everything. It's to give you a percentage, 7% of diversity is there in University of Maryland Baltimore County.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, and yes, like in graduate programs there is less because the courses that are taken by Indians in graduate programs is more of like technical, like IT or whatever, information
yeah.
systems or data science. So in those programs you will get a lot of Indians, but apart from that, the university offers a lot of diversity compared to other universities, I would
That's
say,
nice.
because I've seen other
That's
universities like they don't offer like this much diversity.
yeah.
You have all the communities and all the people coming from I don't know where, so it's like from all the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that is
let's talk about the living situation. Like, how are you managing your expenses, and what is the rent? Like, can you talk a little bit on your monthly
for
expenses?
sure. Sure. So I'm currently I'm paying $550 per
Okay.
month for my rent, which is to be
For a
honest
single room?
expensive in Baltimore. Yeah, for a single room.
Yeah,
So
then
I am
I
staying
think
right now in a,
yeah,
it is expensive if you are staying in Baltimore, but like if you are staying in New York or if you are staying in a big city like San Francisco, it's not expensive. 550 is nothing. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
know
It's
one of my
nothing. That's
friends who is
nothing for
staying
that.
in
Yeah.
New York. He's paying $1,500 right now per month. That too for a
Wow.
very small room. So yeah. So but in general, the average that students are paying here are $350 for one room where two people are sharing. So
Okay.
if you need to share a room, you pay $350 in average. I I was more inclined towards going for a single room because I wanted my own space and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
and my house is actually the most closest to the university, so that is why
Hmm.
uh, the the rent is much more higher compared to other
Okay.
compared to other townhouses or the other houses where students are living. So it's 550, and apart from that the utilities it's around $60-$70. So in average
Okay.
per month I have to pay 620 to $630. and
Okay.
uh, and yeah, the expense apart from that, like for groceries and for other things, it's not much higher compared to other cities. Like I mentioned, it's very less here because you don't need to spend a lot in other things to commute or to uh, you know to eat or to have what do you say, you have to like make your house and anything like that. Like for example, when I went to New York, for just to travel two streets, we have to go through subway, and you have to pay
Yeah.
$2. So you have to spend a lot in those cities. But staying in Baltimore, I have this free transportation service from university. They take us to Walmart, they take us to Patel Brothers, they also take us
Oh,
to this mall called Arundel Mills, where we have Burlington, we have H&M, Forever. So even if
that's
I have to,
interesting. It's really nice of the
yeah,
university that they offer this.
yes. So even if I have to go to these places and buy something in big cities, you have to pay for that. You have to go through a subway or you have to book an Uber or whatever. University offers us free transportation, so that is where I don't need to spend. And apart from that, the groceries and everything you buy for a month, and it's around $100 maybe if you're buying other stuff and other things. And also one more thing I wanted to mention is that because UMBC is a public and state university, they offer a lot of food that is free for students,
Yeah, like a
and that
pitchfork pantry
includes,
kind of thing, I guess. Like a pantry.
yeah. Pantry and also groceries. Like they have their own farm where they every week they provide us with different things like potatoes, a bag full of potatoes, or a bag full of lettuce, or
Yeah.
anything like whatever they just want to, like in that week. So like lot of students come and they just take like these bags of things for them, for their for their house and for
Groceries.
their
Yeah.
food. Yeah, for the groceries and everything. Like this is given by the university in free to
Hmm.
all the students.
That's
So
nice, actually.
I
I
I
think
still remember
mostly
I don't
most of
spend like,
the Yeah, I think most of the public universities do this, you know. Actually, if you really
Right.
search for it, you will actually find one or the other place that actually provides these groceries, or in some
Yes.
way they help you out with the household living, like some of the other expenses. They help you out with them.
Yeah, even they provide us with some of the clothes, like, obviously we don't need clothes, but like, if it's cold and if the weather is very harsh here, the next week only they'll provide us with some jackets, mufflers, scarves, or whatever gloves you need. So
Oh,
it's interesting, like, if you are like,
yes.
if you are inclined towards going to private university, I don't mind, but I think these are some of the things that students also need to keep in mind, that public universities do offer you a lot of other things apart from, just
Yeah,
the rank and the brand that people think of. So yeah.
yeah. So I have this question, like, in general, on an average, what does a student earn per month by doing part-time?
Right. uh, See, in general, in United States of America, the minimum salary is approximately $12 to $13, but it obviously depends according to the place where you are. In Maryland, specifically in Baltimore, the average pay salary per hour is $12. So that is minimum that students earn here if they are doing part time. But
Okay.
if you are doing any desk jobs or any of the jobs that require you to work in a department, like not the labor work, it offers you around $15 to $16 per hour. So that is
Okay.
I'm talking about my
So
university.
approximately $1,000 a month.
Yeah, a month,
And
obviously.
what do you think a ballpark number for the total monthly expense that you mentioned? Basic, you gave a basic idea on what all you spend, but give me a
Right.
ballpark number on an average what a person spends.
Right. So on average, like just if I don't want to talk about myself, like, because I'm paying $550, for personal room. But if I would
Yeah,
have been paying for if I would have been sharing my room, so it would be $350. Utilities would be around 50-60. So you can count up to 400-420. And then if you are talking about groceries and other things, so you can count approximately $100 to $200. So I would say any student you know can live here or can spend up to $500 to $600 per month. That's an average. Like, that's
600.
the
Let's
least
take
you would.
600. Yeah,
Yeah, like, let's take the higher note. Yeah, that's the least that a student would like spend
that's
here.
that's
But
really generous, I guess.
yeah,
Like
it's
whatever
very
you're
less. And if
spending
you're work,
compared to many other states, it's really decent
absolutely.
money, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, and if you're working for a part time here, it's nothing for you, because you earn $700-800, and then
you're
it's
still
like
able to save up
you
for
can
some
still save.
money, maybe go on some activity or a trip, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So so can you share like one good experience and one bad experience till now since the time you've come to US?
Okay, yeah. See, one of the best experiences that I have in US right now is the freedom to do things on your own. Like, I can relate to that, because everything here that you do is based on your own decisions, is based on what you do, because our parents are way far, they cannot take any decisions from
Yeah.
there. So I still remember I was so scared, I was so timid when I came here in the first month. And I was I was literally like, I was thinking like, okay, I'm into this new country, I don't know how things work here. And right now, after a few months, I think, okay, all those things that I took and I worked on, or whatever decisions that I took on my own, is something that has evolved me as a person only. So
Mhm.
right now I don't get scared when I'm doing things on my own, or uh, I'm taking decisions on my own. So I think
That's
that
a
is one
good
of the best
learning
experiences that,
experience. Yeah, that's a good learning
yeah, I think
experience. So,
everyone will have the same feeling when they come to US.
yeah.
And bad feeling obviously is that you have to deal everything on your own. So that is also one
It's
thing
a good
where
and a
you can,
bad thing, you would say.
yeah. But
That's nice.
yeah, and it's pretty hard. Like, I know there's this trend where students are just coming to USA, like thinking, okay, like, it's a trend, people are going to US, you just need to stay like you just need to go with the market, like you just need to go with the like that herd mentality because everyone is going to US. But that's not the case. Like it's hard, it's pretty tough. I still remember my aunt picked me up from the airport and she said me, US offers you everything, it's the luxurious life that you will get here, you are doing the best course and everything, but at the end of the day you do feel sometimes that okay, you are you ready or not, like the country offers you everything, but at what cost? So first you need to prepare yourself, first you need to come with that preparation, okay, that are you ready for the like for this roller coaster or not. So
Yeah.
students need to take that, because I do know that there are times when you feel very low in this country, and it is because of a lot of overload of work, or because you feel alone or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is a
Well, I
good
think
experience.
I think we can consider this as an advice for students who are about to pursue their masters
Yes,
or who
yes,
are
yes,
planning, I guess. Next
yes,
question
just
was going
don't
to
go
be
with that,
that, like, yeah, my next
just
question was
don't go
going to
with the
be
trend if you
about
are
the advice, and I think I got your advice that
right.
you should not go with the trend. Make sure you plan and you go according to that. Well, that's
Right,
a
right.
really good
I mean, yeah.
advice.
I mean, that's the advice you will get from all the students that are that are pursuing their masters or working in the USA. Because I have, I have, I have talked to so many students, and I think that is the most common thing that you can get from all the students. So yeah.
I hope everyone keeps that in mind. Well, yeah, it was
Yes.
really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for sharing your experience and taking out time for this interview.
No problem. Anytime, anytime. Thank you so much for having me here. And I feel that even if one of my experiences or one of my advices or whatever that I shared with you guys can help any of the students out there, it would be
Yeah,
really, a great thing for me as a student, because I can relate that I face the same issues, and
yeah,
I would love to help anyone. So if
yeah.
even if
I
anyone wants to
really
connect
believe
with me.
that. Yep, I really believe that it will be helpful, and yeah, I think anyone. I hope like they can connect to you directly if they want to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
so
good
much,
day.
Varun.
Bye.
Thank you. It was great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank
कॉलेज दुनिया लेकर आ रहा है इंडियाज बिगेस्ट एजुकेशन फेयर। याद रहे 6th and 7th ऑफ मई। जगह प्रगति मैदान। रजिस्टर करने के लिए कॉल करें नीचे दिए गए नंबर पर या क्लिक करें अप्लाई नाउ बटन पर।